Hello, this is Abraham at North Shore Computer Services, and here is a very interesting specimen that has come here from a long time ago. This computer is probably more than 20 years old. It still works, but there was an interesting problem with it, and the problem was that whenever you would print, it would only print part of the information and it would just cut off. So every time I would do test print, it would cut off. And there was, database program that this was printing out of, and every time it would get to a certain way, it would just cut off and stop printing. Now, these computers are fairly simple compared to what you have today, so there wasn't much that could go wrong. And interestingly, the computer works. You turn it on, boots up Windows 95. The only problem that this computer exhibited was a dead battery, which is a very easy thing to fix, you would think. So I go into the motherboard and I don't see a battery. Then I do some research, and there is something called this Dallas clock chip that has battery inside. So whoever thought it up was a brilliant engineer, where you have a battery inside of the chip. If the battery dies, you gotta replace the whole chip. So I did some research on this and pulled up the data sheet on this chip. And it ends up being that I believe, I don't remember exactly right now, that 4 and 6 legs of the chip are actually connected to the battery. They're bent upwards and encased in this plastic housing. So the chip, there is battery, chip, and epoxy and housing on top of it. So I did some more research and actually just cut it open with a Dremel. Got to the 4 and 6 connectors. As you can see here, the green is positive, the white is negative, and connected it to just pulled out a battery socket from a motherboard, dead motherboard, and connected it, booted it up. Voila, it works. And here is the printout. And of course, nothing could be completely carefree. So the first one was the incorrect print, and the second one is a full page print. And then the printer ran out of ink, or it didn't run out, but the ink got stuck. So this is fine. This is just a printer here, but you can see that went to the whole test phase. This was probably the most interesting computer problem I've seen. It is something I have never seen before, where a dead battery would cause a printer not to print. The computer worked. I mean, the clock was off, and normally you just reset the clock and keep going. But whenever this particular motherboard would recognize a dead battery, it would reset the board to standard default CMOS settings. And one of the settings that I guess this printer didn't like was the ECP and EPP. EPP is the enhanced printer port, and that's what this printer likes. The ECP is when you have more than one device connected to the LPT printer port, and I guess it didn't like it. So when I changed it, and the battery, I guess the computer takes measurements whether the battery is good or not, and it was happy, so everybody was happy. It saved the settings and started working. So if somebody's working on some old system, and I mean 20 years in computer terms, we're talking about ancient system that is behaving in some strange way, check out check out your battery. Check out your Dallas chip. Um, when I got this computer, honestly, I didn't even know how to approach the problem. At first, I thought it was the printer's fault, so I connected printer to one of the newer computers, ran a test page, it worked fine. I cleaned it out, so printer got a do-over, and then I was looking at the computer. I really didn't know what to even look for because you turn it on and it works. The only thing is it asks you to press F1 to continue. You press F1, the system boots, everything is there. So this is honestly the most interesting problem that I've seen. And maybe not the most, but definitely up above the average complexity. So hopefully this helps somebody. Sorry I couldn't show any progress on how I did this. Uh, there isn't really much progress to show. You could order those chips online, they're available. In this case, this computer is needed back in service ASAP, so I didn't have time to wait 3 weeks to order them from China. Seems like it's doable. Now, one of the problems is, of course, this battery is wobbly, so I'm gonna have to attach it somehow. But again, that's minor. And another thing is, if you're gonna be attempting something like this, be sure to be careful because excessive vibration can damage the chip on the inside. You can also bend the legs of the chip. I mean, there are a few things that you could do, so be very careful and have a plan B. So in my case, I did have a plan B where I had another computer that was from this era that I could have possibly brought back in service. So this kind of repairs, they're iffy. In fact, when I plugged it in first, it didn't want to work. So I guess either one of the connections didn't make proper connection, whatever. This chip is, there is a socket underneath it, so it can be pulled out, put back in. Some of those chips are actually soldered on board. In that case, you have to desolder the chip. Very bad engineering when it comes to something like this. Well, hopefully this helps somebody. Again, this is an ancient system that, I mean, it worked well for 20 years plus, and you know, aside from a battery, it still works. So hopefully this helps somebody and answers some questions. If you like it, subscribe. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I will answer any question that's worthy of the answer. Let's see. I think that's it. Appreciate your time. Thank you.